You're breathing wrong, and because of that, you're missing out on signs that could completely change your life. Sounds like an exaggeration? Carl Jung would say otherwise. He believed that what we don't bring into consciousness becomes our fate, silently directing our choices. And here's the most astonishing part. There's a way of breathing that not only calms you, but activates a specific frequency where synchronicities become almost inevitable. Repeating coincidences, answers that appear out of nowhere, numbers that follow you. All of it is part of a hidden code that responds to your vibration. And guess what? The way you breathe completely shifts that vibration. While most people keep looking for answers outside, you're about to discover that the true portal is within. Conscious breathing is like entering an energetic password that unlocks messages the universe saves only for those who are in tune. And the wildest part? No one ever taught you this. Not school, not religion, not even those cheap self-help books. In this video, you'll learn how Jung connected breath to the invisible patterns of reality, and why, once you understand this, you'll never see a coincidence the same way again. There's an ancient wisdom that says, as you breathe, you communicate with the invisible. Carl Jung understood this on a deep level. For him, breathing was far more than a biological function. It was a direct bridge to the collective unconscious. When we breathe mechanically, we disconnect. But when we breathe consciously, it's as if a secret frequency is activated. A frequency that begins to tune our minds to a reality far beyond the five senses. Imagine someone breathing slowly, with presence, feeling the air enter through the nose, expand the lungs, and exit gently. Now compare that to someone living on autopilot, racing through deadlines, obligations, and bills, breathing shallowly, anxiously, tensely. The difference isn't just physical, it's vibrational. Carl Jung would say that this simple act of conscious breathing opens a direct channel for decoding what he called synchronicities, those meaningful accidents that seem to bend time and logic. Have you ever noticed how, in moments of deep peace, certain coincidences begin to appear out of nowhere? A number that repeats, a thought that materializes, a person who suddenly shows up with the answer you were looking for. That's not chance. That's a code. The code of synchronicities becomes clearer when the mind is anchored in the now. And breath is the most powerful anchor there is. That's why so many ancient traditions used breath as a tool for spiritual elevation. And Jung, well, he knew there was something profound hidden in that simplicity. Carl Jung didn't develop the theory of synchronicities while sitting in a library far from real life. He discovered this mysterious pattern by observing the invisible manifest itself in his therapy room. Patients would speak of dreams involving beetles, and at that exact moment, a beetle would tap on the window. Coincidence? Not for Jung. He saw it as the emergence of a pattern, a synchronicity code trying to reveal itself through the unexpected. These episodes stood out because they broke what he called linear causality. It was as if the universe was saying, I'm listening to this conversation too. And the more he explored the unconscious minds of his patients, the more these events multiplied. Jung realized they weren't random but full of symbolic meaning, as if the soul had a subtle way of interacting with the outer world, visible only to those who knew how to breathe and observe. The key, according to him, was the quality of the internal state. Jung noticed that when his patients were in deep reflection or going through emotional breakthroughs, synchronicities became more intense. It's very similar to what happens when you sit in silence and begin to feel the world around you respond. It's like life, for a few moments, becomes a mirror of what pulses deep within you. And the most fascinating part, all of it can be activated with one simple act: conscious breathing. Most people breathe as if it's just another automatic function of the body. Air goes in, air goes out, life goes on. But what almost no one knows is that conscious breathing changes everything. When you breathe with awareness, the electromagnetic field of your body expands, and that shifts your frequency. Carl Jung said the outer world is a reflection of the inner world. And it's precisely by raising this inner frequency that the code of synchronicities begins to reveal itself clearly. You know those moments when you're centered and everything just flows effortlessly? You think of someone and they call. You want something and it happens naturally. That's not cheap magic, that's alignment. It's your vibration syncing with the field around you. And it all starts with breath. Each conscious inhale is like a silent command that activates your invisible radar. Want a simple exercise to start with? Sit for 2 minutes, close your eyes, and just observe your breath. Don't try to control it, just notice it. Do this before making big decisions or when you notice repeating numbers showing up. This small habit brings you back to your center and opens the way to receive the hidden messages Jung spent his life studying. And before you know it, the universe begins to respond in ways only the present can understand. There's a secret that ancient spiritual masters and even modern psychologists understood well. The rhythm of your breath changes the frequency of your mind. Carl Jung would never ignore this detail. He knew that the conscious mind is just a doorway, and that by adjusting your breath, you shift your vibrational state, creating space for the code of synchronicities to activate. One of the simplest and most effective techniques is the 4-7-8 breathing method. It works like this: inhale to the count of 4, hold your breath for 7, and exhale for 8. It may sound simple, but it's a powerful vibrational reset. Do it for 5 minutes before bed or when you wake up, and you'll notice an unusual sense of calm settling in. But this piece isn't just relaxation, it's preparation. It's as if you're tuning your energy field to a cosmic station that begins to send you clear, direct, and purposeful signals. Numbers, symbols, people. Everything starts to make sense. Jung called this the process of individuation, turning inward to become whole. And this breathing technique is a practical tool for anyone who wants to live more awake. You don't need to climb a mountain or become a monk. You just need a few minutes of presence each day. It's simple, but sacred. And when this practice becomes a habit, it doesn't just change your mind, it changes the reality around you. And the most incredible part, it starts to respond to you with codes that can't be explained, only felt. Some people breathe differently and begin to see differently. The signs start to appear subtly, like scattered clues in everyday life. You feel a strong déjà vu. A number like 1111 keeps following you. A dream reveals an ancient symbol, and the next day, you see it somewhere in the physical world. That's not coincidence. It's confirmation. Proof that the code of synchronicities has been activated and is trying to communicate with you. Carl Jung said that what doesn't come to consciousness returns as fate. But what happens when it does? When you start recognizing the patterns that were always there, just waiting for your frequency to rise enough to notice? The signs become clearer when the mind is present and the body vibrates in coherence with the world around it. It might come as a strong intuition, that feeling of there's something here, or a sequence of events so precise you can't ignore them. For those who want to test it in practice, start breathing consciously every day for 5 minutes and then write down anything symbolic, strange, or repetitive that happens. It might seem trivial at first, but when you look back, you'll see the pattern forming. Life leaves clues, and conscious breathing is the lens that allows you to see them. And now that you know how to identify when the code has been activated, what are you going to do with it? Now tell me, after everything you've heard here, are you still going to treat breathing as something automatic? Are you going to keep ignoring the signs the universe is placing right in front of you, thinking it's all in your head? Or will you finally pause for 5 minutes, breathe for real, and begin to hear what the invisible has been trying to show you all along? Because from now on, you know, every synchronicity that appears on your path is an invitation. An invitation to break out of autopilot and start living with presence. So answer me in the comments. What was the most powerful sign you've ever received? What number, dream, or sensation has echoed in your mind without explanation? What pattern did you notice in today's video? And more importantly, what are you going to do with it? Will you apply it or let it slip by? Because when you write, you activate, and when you share, you inspire others who are going through the same process but haven't yet understood what's happening. Sometimes your comment is the exact key someone else needs to wake up. And if this video touched you, shook something in you, or made something inside you vibrate differently, subscribe to the channel now. Turn on notifications, because from here on out, we're going even deeper into what no one ever told you about synchronicities, vibration, and the hidden code that connects everything. And remember, breathing is just the beginning. What comes next will change the way you see life completely.